Thank you for being here. It's an honor to have such a great group of folks every year, and one of the most fun parts about this for me is the awards to honor the work of so many people in this room. So I'd like to move on to the awards. Our most prestigious honor at the FOI Foundation that we bestow each year is the James Madison Award to those who really demonstrate a commitment to open government and to First Amendment rights. The list of past winners is impressive, and there's some past winners here today, so I just want to give them a little shout out. We've got Joe Larson, First Amendment lawyer that many of you know. Representative Chairman Todd Hunter was here a little bit earlier today. Dan Malone is here. He won when he was the instructor of journalism at Tarleton State University. Several of the Freedom of Information Foundation FOI hotline attorneys. These are attorneys at firms around Texas that volunteer their time to follow up with people who have called the FOI hotline to find out why they can't get the records they're seeking or help with issues they're receiving. We have Paul Watler and Tom Williams here today who won that award in their capacity as those attorneys for the FOI hotline. And so here, this year, to introduce this year's honorees is Texas Senator Kirk Watson. I'm going to ask him to come up here. Senator Watson has a long record of protecting the people's right to know. He's worked in bipartisan fashion to pass important open government legislation. I'll say a little bit more about him later because he's graciously stepped in to be our keynote. Our keynote is caught in the weather that we have in the Houston area, and Senator Watson has been gracious to do that as well. So welcome, Senator Watson.
Thank you. Well, this is exciting and fun for me, and you'll know why when I introduce the award winners. I'm very pleased that the Freedom of Information Foundation of Texas is recognizing these two wonderful people. And partly I'm up here not just to introduce them, but to also represent State Representative Giovanni Capriglione in the introduction of them, because the two of us, Representative Capriglione and I, nominated these two wonderful people for this award, and you'll see why. Kelsey Erickson and Katie Aldridge are our award winners, and they have been instrumental in restoring and assuring that Texans will enjoy their appropriate right to open government and freedom of information. Kelsey, and I'll tell you more about her in a minute, works in my office, and Katie works in Representative Capriglione's office. We've had, over the past roughly 3 years, we've had a large number of people participate in the work that led to the passage of what became Senate Bill 943 and Senate Bill 944 in the last legislative session. But Kelsey and Katie have been the thread that has run through our efforts, and they've been the day-to-day, in the trenches leaders that actually assured this happened. Members of the legislature rely on staff to assist us with a variety of things. They assist us with ideas, they help with drafting, they talk with stakeholders, they give us advice. The public, including expert stakeholders and people who are hired to represent those stakeholders, they rely on legislative staff to listen, to offer input, to facilitate the working with other people that might be stakeholders, to help find consensus, and to make sure that the legislative process is followed so that the public's interests are protected. I'm here to tell you that Kelsey and Katie have gone far beyond typical or even very good staff work. Their efforts have been exceptional. They've been creative, expert, professional, patient, and with a profound passion for open government and freedom of information. They've worked diligently for the last roughly 3 years to get us to the passage and the governor signing Senate Bill 943 and 944. And as important and impressive as their work on those two bills have been, their effort to improve transparency has been even broader, they became the subject matter experts for other staff and other stakeholders on many governmental legislative efforts. Those of us in this room and beyond who care about and advocate for open government and freedom of information felt an urgency and a need to prioritize Senate Bill 943 and Senate Bill 944. And we faced fierce opposition. Today, we celebrate passage of these bills and their signing because of the difference we know they'll make, and we believe they wouldn't be made law. They would not be law today without the exemplary work of Kelsey Erickson and Katie Aldridge. Kelsey is an attorney serving as general counsel in my office. She began working at the Texas Capitol when she was 19 years old, interning in the office of the governor. Then she advanced from an internship to a policy position in Senator John Corona's office, Senator Corona of Dallas, before she came to my office in October of 2014. In total, she's covered 5 legislative sessions at the Texas Capitol, and between stints at the Texas Capitol, she earned her BA and Juris Doctor degrees, both with highest honors from the University of Texas at Austin. She graduated in the top 1% of her class, despite taking a semester off during law school to work full-time. She serves in a number of policy areas in my office and is one of my strongest advisors. When she's not working, at least right now, she's planning a wedding that is next week on the 28th to Preston Stroifert, who is also a Capitol insider and Capitol veteran, and he's with us here today. Katie Aldridge has served as the Capitol Director to Representative Capriglione since 2014. She also just finished her 5th legislative session. She's been privileged to work in various capacities at the Capitol for former Governor Rick Perry and Representatives Linda Harper Brown, Stephanie Carter, and John Davis. She received her BS in elementary education from Texas State University in San Marcos. She's a native Austinite and a 7th-generation Texan. She is a strong supporter and follower of Texas Longhorn football and enjoys spending time with her family. I will tell you that she is detail-oriented, and I'm going to use this word again, patient. Her patience is one of the reasons we are here today. And by the way, that patience was extraordinarily helpful in negotiating Senate Bill 943 and 944. I will say to all of you, public servants like these 2 young women aren't recognized enough for the role that they play in positive outcomes like those 2 bills. So I personally thank the Freedom of Information Foundation on my behalf and Representative Capriglione's behalf for recognizing the extraordinary achievements of Kelsey Erickson and Katie Aldridge, and I'd ask them to please come up and receive their awards.
Hello, thank you. I just wanted to say a few things. First, I want to thank the Freedom of Information Foundation of Texas for this award. It was definitely unexpected, but very nice. And thank you for being such a great partner with us, as the senator said, for over 3 years. We've been working on this, so we appreciate it. I also want to thank my partner in crime up here, Katie Aldridge. She kept me sane. Ran through about 1 million different scenarios with me. And we got pretty good at playing good cop, bad cop, so we're probably going to need to do that again soon. I also want to thank the Attorney General's office. I know several of them are here today. They, like us, do a lot of behind-the-scenes work that often isn't acknowledged but is vital to the success of these efforts, so thank you. And then, of course, I have to thank Senator Watson. Thank you for nominating me, but more importantly, I'm going to try not to get choked up. I have a wedding next week, so I have a good excuse for being emotional. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for empowering me to do some of my best work this session. The last thing I want to say, just briefly, you heard about the efforts to get these bills passed, and I just want to say that I think they are a great proof and a great piece of evidence that the legislative process can still work. It is possible to find common ground, even with 120 plus stakeholders who all have very different opinions and priorities. It does take a lot of patience and perseverance, but it can happen. So thank you again. Katie, do you want to say anything?
Ditto to what she just said, but we did not do this alone. We had so much help from everybody within the foundation, from the Attorney General's office. There was something blocking us at every turn. You fix one thing for one person, it causes a problem for somebody else. This was really a labor of love. The legislative process does still work. Thank you, Senator Watson. Very much appreciate it. We're going to have to find something else to tag team on now. So, thank you.
Thank y'all.